It's your boy Slim Trader. We back at it again for a weekend analysis. I'm gonna make it short and simple. We got the dollar versus the yen. We got the pound versus the yen. We got the pound versus the dollar. We got gold. We're gonna look at Nvidia, Apple, and Tesla for the stocks this week. The same as we did last week. We're just gonna keep track of those and see what goes on. All right. So first of all, we're gonna look at UJ, and UJ basically did a killer bullish move to the upside over the week. Was just strong momentum, bullish momentum for buys. I was kind of hesitant on how I wanted to play UJ, but right now we're at a area of resistance possibly, so we could possibly see a retracement from here. I know I have this area of 147, 383. And let me see if I can find my mouse because my mouse is my pointer here. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for that, but here we go. I'll get it turned on. But right now we are witnessing a little heavy resistance at this 147, 375 area. So we're going to see what it wants to do from there. We had one, two, there we go. We have one, two, three, and about to be the fourth time that we hit this area that we got rejected on heavily. Each time price came, once it touched here, it dropped all the way down to the 142,700 range, which if you want to look how many pips that was over time, that's over almost 500 pips worth of rejection. So if you're looking at this in a consolidation sense, even though it had dipped a little bit down here, um, we may see some type of rejection here, or because we did kind of almost get to this level and then we found a little bit of support right here, this could probably be the move that gets us up to the 150 area that I was speaking about last week. So it's just a matter of seeing what it wants to do here. But if you want to look for some sales, I would wait until the moving average possibly crosses over, or some type of bearish momentum candle. But for right now, we're still looking like we're going to be moving up, and unless otherwise seen otherwise. If we look at the Heikin-Ashi, we do have a little inside candle, which could be signs of either a pullback. I don't know about a reversal, maybe a pullback, if anything. So we'll see. UJ may be bullish this week, continue to be bullish, but also we got to be mindful of it possibly still playing in this area of 147, 375, and this 142, 740. But we do have a slight trend line going up. If it can stay above here, then it may be good to go, but we'll see. GBP, JPY right now. We can go to the week. I was kind of bullish on this one for last week, and we see that it did make a nice move to the upside. Would have been good for some buys. If we look at this candle, it's definitely a bullish candle. And this one here also, it is at a spot. It actually hit it did hit the 27 extension right on the dot, which this area right here is a area of resistance. It's still following this very sharp uptrend, so I'm kind of, I don't think it's going to be holding on to that for too much longer, so we'll see what it wants to do. But so far as of right now, we're still looking at it being bullish. Right now, it is in a little bit of a consolidation on the 4 hour. If we want to sit here and draw possibly a little consolidation box, we can see exactly what if it wants to break out of that. Okay. But what I typically see on moves like this is I will go ahead and erase this fib since it's kind of already done for in a sense. I like to see price break the consolidation to the downside. However, I would like to see price break the consolidation down to the downside and do like a fake out. I see it time after time. It will come down, break down, and then maybe around here, the 61.8, I can see it going ahead and pursuing up even more. Maybe 201 for this week. So I'll still be bullish on GJ. Maybe overall the yen is going to be weak compared to the dollar and the pound. So maybe that's enough for UJ, enough telltale sign for me to feel like the dollar may continue its bullish run towards the yen as well. But I do still like GJ tremendously for the buy. I'm just waiting. Possibly, it's probably going to break this consolidation box, come down, and then start heading back up. So around here, I would like to see some type of bullish candle, some type of bullish structure on the lower time frame, and then or moving average crossover, and then heading for more buys. So GBP USD, we had a big drop on this one over the week, as we can see. This was the weekly candle. It was pretty much straight bearish for the most part. If we look at the Heikin-Ashi still kind of, it's still bullish to me in a sense. It's just going to be kind of interesting to see where it wants to go. It may go a little bit lower though. We are still on this trend line. I don't necessarily see if I would say if anywhere GU, I would say this is the spot. This would be the area of important support that it would need to maintain in order to stay bullish. If it breaks that, which would be technically the trend line still, I'd say this area of interest. I really like. I mean, if you want to call it a demand zone or whatnot, but if price definitely drops below this zone, then I would possibly believe that we're going to be going downwards. So I'm going to leave that there for next week, and we'll see what it wants to do. But if we do a fib from those areas, we can still see GU continuing up to 138,500. It's still not out for the count, even though it is a tremendous bearish candle. The dollar strongness from the dollar, we can still see it. GU, the pound, gain some momentum and head up. Still got like a little support level if you want to consider that this, and then we got this trend. We did hit a key level up here. That's why we're getting the rejection. As you can see, I believe we ended the week around this area, had a little consolidation. It kind of peaked up and then it decided to drop down. So this area is definitely a key area, but we're still, again, right in the trend. So we will see. I believe if we break below this area, then we could possibly see GU head on down to the next area of interest, which is 130,837. So let's say if it did decide to break below here, that's almost 350 pips worth of sales that we can take. So keep an eye out on GU. Seems like either way, it's going to be a nice move to one of the sides. Even to the upside. Say if we start here, that's about 350. It's almost half and half as far as which the next area that it wants to go to. But definitely we can do it by You can do it by one slice at a time. We can see from here to here or to there. I do remember talking about last week it possibly being consolidation between this area, but it looks like it wanted to drop down a little bit more. I did not touch GU last week, but depending on what it wants to do this week, I may if I see moving average crossovers possibly on the 2 hour time frame, I would probably go in for a buy. Otherwise, if I see it go dip down, if a candle breaks and close below here, this area, then I would probably go in for sales. All right, so we got gold, which I like a lot for the buy. Like I said, I was kind of bullish last week. However, it did kind of dip down a little bit lower than what I intended last week. But it did pretty much towards the end of the week head back up. And I think this will be the continuation. As you can see, if you look at the 3 day, you can see that price made some type of nice support at this area right here. We can see a lot of wicks and candles starting and closing right at this area. I think that was a strong support. And we have the trend line as well. We can see gold getting up to either 34.25 area or extending and making new highs to 3,500 area. So that is still a good buy. That's probably the best one out of all of them this week that I see personally. So if you want to try to find on a lower time frame somewhere to get in for buys on gold, I would think that would probably be I think that would probably be my suggestion. And of course, I'm not giving financial advice, but um, I do like gold for the buy. What do you think? Do you see anything different? Gold has been on tear, been making um, new highs almost every week. It has dropped down a little bit since then, but I mean, since the beginning of the year, I mean, look at this. Since the beginning of the year, it's been on a tear, and I just don't. Even though we do have this large base consolidation here, it could be a sign for weakness, but this area right here is telling me different that it still wants to go up. So we can see. We'll see what it wants to do. But I do like gold for the buy. Okay. Now we looked at GBP USD, which the last daily candle was very bearish. It has to, from here on, it pretty much has to be bullish if it wants to continue going up. We have GJ, who we do have that consolidation box, which I would probably believe that it's going to break the consolidation box to the downside and then head up. And then we have UJ, who just hit a key level of resistance, and we're pretty much just waiting to see what it wants to do, but it looks like it still wants to maintain its bullish momentum. Excuse me. The Heikin-Ashi candles for me would be the determining factor of the reversal. I like to use Heikin-Ashis just to kind of like tell me when that reversal may be happening. We have NVIDIA for stocks. NVIDIA just kept going up over the week, as I had stated last week. I just felt like it was going to get to this area, which it did. We'll see what it wants to continue to keep going up. I don't know if these tariff talks are going to affect the stocks this week going back down, but I think the next level of interest, I think would be the 185 area, but um, we could see some more small increments move to the upside. And Apple, I really liked Apple. Let's look at what it did for the week. It kind of went down. Not exactly how I thought it was gonna move, but I still like I still like the way it's moving to the upside. We're just gonna have to wait. It's coming to like a downtrend in a key area. This whole tariff thing may affect all that, but if anything, I still think it's gonna stay above the 200 mark. And if it drops down below 200, then we can definitely see Apple take a nice fall back down to 170 possibly over time. Like most of these moves that I'm talking about, I don't necessarily think it's going to happen in a week's time, but it's just something to look at as the days and weeks go by to hone in on either a buy or sell. But I still like Apple though for the buy for now. We look at it, it's having a little bit of help here on the support level. It's kind of making a little support level. It's something that we can gauge and look at it for next week to see what we have going on. And then last but not least is Tesla. Tesla, I feel like is about to be a nice rip up to the upside. I'm looking at Tesla getting to 400. That's where the 27 extension is. It's it it came down to this key level and it's right in a trend line. To me, it looks good for the buys. It ended the week well. I believe the whole weekly candle was pretty strong. So we will see. We will see about Tesla. Tesla has been kind of iffy and tricky based on news and everything like that, but it did rebound over this past week, and we got earnings coming up on the 23rd of July, which that's a whole nother week to go for that. So we can see what it wants to do. Um, but I really like Tesla for the buy. That is another one kind of like gold. How I feel like gold seems like a definite buy. If I had to choose one, I kind of think Tesla is the same way. But yeah, there we have it. Those are the ones that we have looking at for the week. Just keep an eye out these key levels and execute accordingly. However you strategize, whether it's taking a trade from the smaller time frames, waiting for something bullish confirmation on key levels, however you trade. But I just wanted to give you a little analysis on what to look for, what to be careful for, and things of that nature. But we'll go back to this next week and see what price has done on all those assets and currencies.